Life in the West was not easy. In the early 1800s, it was very difficult to survive. The pioneer women had traveled out on a journey around 1840 through 1869. Some had many difficulties along the way, but some made it to the West safe. Some were single, seeking husbands, and others were mothers and wives, looking for an opportunity and a fresh start. Missionaries were people who hoped to switch other people, culture, and religion to Christianity. Some failed and some succeeded, but all left a lasting legacy on American history. This is The Missionaries and Pioneer Women in Plain English by Matt, Donnie, Nixon, and Karina. Missionaries are people who attempt to spread a particular religion to others. In order to do this, they traveled to different places. In 1836, there were two couples, Marcus and Narcissa women and Henry and Elisa Spaulding, that were assigned to two Northwest Indian groups, the Cayuse and the Nez Perce. Neither couple knew very much about them. Their goal was to convert them into Christians, and that's why they began to head from St. Louis along the Oregon Trail. It was a tough journey, but they arrived safely. It was a difficult start for them, but after 3 years, the Spauldings baptized two Nez Perce chiefs and the chief's infant. But the Whitmans had it more difficult trying to convert the Cayuse because the Cayuse were more interested in their weapons and their religion. And so the Whitmans were unsuccessful in converting the Cayuse into Christians. Later in 1842, Marcus traveled back on a horse to the east and gathered settlers to move to Oregon. As the settlers moved in, they brought a disease with them, the measles. The Cayuse noticed the Whitmans were helping the American settlers, and some were recovering while some Cayuse people were dying. So the Cayuse attacked the Whitmans, killing both Marcus and Narcissa. Not one Cayuse Indian converted to the new faith. The missionaries might have failed on converting people, but they opened the West to settlement. Okay, guys, you may think girls or women didn't do anything while traveling west. Well, you're wrong. They probably did more than guys. Around 1840, women traveled west. Some were single, some were married, and some even had kids along the trail. Women traveled about 15 to 20 miles a day for about 4 to 6 months, which is not an easy task. Instead of resting, they would have to do their work at home, like cooking, washing, and taking care of the children. Some went through many challenges like disease, accidents, Indian attacks, prairie fires, stampedes, weather, and hunger, just like the men. Also, African American women who escaped tried to make it along the journey west, but that brought bounty hunters who tried to capture them for money. The pioneer women brought out strengths and abilities that men didn't even know they had. They also helped set up schools, libraries, churches, and charity groups. This helped prepare for equal treatment. A woman named Annie Bidwell left a great legacy. She taught sewing to an Indian woman and taught their children to read and write in English. She also helped the movement for women to vote, which had been denied in the East. Many years before women across the nation were allowed equality, some women in the West were already voting. The freedom and equality these women had in the West helped spread across the United States. This was perhaps the greatest legacy women pioneers left. And these are our resources: Old Blue, the history book, National Geographic, and Google.